Hello there, and welcome to This Is Your Life. Tonight, as you can see, I'm dressed as a night marshal, a kind of medieval referee, because to catch our guest tonight, we've had to take a step back into history. Here in this Berkshire countryside, we're at a jousting tournament, part of the great revival of this spirit all over the place. My man is the one in the leather jerkin and the helmet, way over there at the tilt, from where he can't see me yet. Beneath it all is a Cockney character who's known to the famous the world over. Now, I've no idea what's going to happen, except I hope they both get knocked off or are off their horses and I get in there without losing my head. So here goes, and let's see what happens. Hold it, noble gentlemen, hold it. Hold it, please. Hold it. What did you say? What in hell? Come here. Hold it 1 second, please. Frederick of Gaywood, champion of Kent.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold it.
Hold him,
Hold it. Hold it.
As every night, I got a special message for you. Ladies and gentlemen of your acquaintance are waiting for you at the studio because tonight, Fred NOSHER Powell.
Did you know about it, you rotten? Did you know about it, Well, I told you. I told you. You know, I told him last year at Zion Park, when you jumped that horse on me, I said I don't want to. Look at me. That's good. You look marvellous. You look pretty.
We'll have time to change. Right, we go to the studios. We're all waiting.
You paid me back for that little job I did a few years ago. Do you remember the 6-rounder?
Say, Knocker, that I thought Black Gauntlet, Max Diamond, was gone for his chops when you hit him there.
Well, he was all right, but you nearly got the right hand. No, this is the fact, because I thought it was another get-up like Max and Dinny gets me at. We had this at the studio some time ago, and all the fellas fell on me. And when you came on the scene, you looked like you went on the chops as well.
I know, I knew I was near it, but Max is all right in case anyone's worried. He knows how to fall. I don't. Anyhow, Fred Powell, this is your life, and at tournaments you have the resounding title, Frederick of Gaywood, Champion Knight of Kent. But you're far better known the world over as Fred NOSHER Powell. Market porter, soldier, boxer, bodyguard, bouncer, actor, stuntman. You've had a shot at most jobs during your life, but perhaps your greatest achievement is just being yourself. Now, here's what happened when we said, tell us about NOSHER, to an old friend of yours in the USA.
Nosh?
Sammy.
Well, it's very simple. I think that he's a groovy, wonderful, big, beautiful human being. I speak of what I know because we have been together on so many things. We've done a couple of films together. I have been fortunate enough to have him in my corner, as we say at home here in America, meaning to have him on my side when it got a little thick and heavy for me. I remember a couple of incidents, and a couple of times particularly when I was doing Golden Boy at the Palladium, and we were getting threatened just about every other day. And Nasha said, Sam, you don't have to worry. I'm with you. I think what you're doing tonight in saluting him is groovy. Hey, man, Nash, I'll be back to my second home soon. In the meantime, peace and love to you, Nash.
Thank you, Sammy Davis, Jr. Well, let's the kind of response we got anytime we asked anyone about groovy NOSHER Powell. As a matter of fact, NOSHER, we even got a glowing testimonial to your good nature from a man's toughest critic. She's here tonight as well, to be by your side as she has been for the past 20 years, your wife, Pauline. A whole lot of things fell into place after we discovered what was happening today, Pauline. And, Pauline, you went to the altar with a man who was simply known as Frederick Powell. Tell us why NOSHER.
Well, NOSHER, the name's been handed down from father to son because of their enormous appetites. I've often said to him that as far as the food is concerned at home, it's not at home, it's more like a transport cafe.
Well, apart from the food, there's a great deal of tradition in the Powell family, Cockney tradition. You're born around the Elephant and Castle district in London. Your dad makes his name as a boxer of the old Blackfriars Ring, a great breeding ground, as we all know, for fighters. But he's just as well known by the time you come along as a horse dealer.
Dealer, not stealer.
Dealer. Now, sure, we didn't know there was a horse market right in the heart of London at that time. Now, it looks like a pretty big market. Who used to buy horses there?
Used.
No, tell me, who were the people?
Well, the majority were horse stealers. But, and I never said dealers. But this was a market that possibly have 1,400 horses there. Spread out all around. The whole of the Elephant Castle was surrounded by arches, railways. And these arches were absolutely full of horses for the Monday sale. And there was more conniving and cutthroats that hit the elephant trying to sell these horses, three-legged ones, two-legged ones.
Well, around that market you learned to ride almost as soon as you could walk. And there's one day when you try your hand as a coachman as well. You borrow a horse, harness him to a cart, and give some of your friends a free ride.
That was my best horse, and if I'd have caught up with Fred, I'd have kicked his behind.
The owner himself, your dad, of course, Mr. Fred NOSHER Powell Sr., and with him your mum, Mrs. Lil Powell. Well, now, Dad, you weren't all that pleased to find that NOSHER had mastered the coachman's art, were you?
I certainly was not. The horse cost £50. It's the dearest horse ever I bought in my life. And when I went to the stables, the horse was gone. And I looked at the cart's gone. The honest. God, what a choker. So I looked round. The man next door said to me, what's he looking for? No, so I said, I'm looking for my horse and cart. So he said, Freddie's took it. He said, the old man won't mind. So, of course, the referee, the wife, said, come in and have a cup of tea. So we have a cup of tea, and all of a sudden I heard the horse potting down the street. Get up. Out I walked. He's about 60 yards down this long, narrow turn, all asphalt. You could hear the horse. And there he is with about 8 kids on the van. I'm a Yankee Doodle Dandy. I said, I'll give you a Yankee Doodle Dandy. He pulled up dead. The horse put the brake on. Run, boys, run. If I'd have caught him that day.
You didn't see him that day, did you?
I saw him the next day. He had a smoke on, making out he was working.
Well, one young Powell son's enough to be going on with, but later on, you had another little lad to look after, hadn't you, Mrs. Powell?
That's right, yeah, young Dinny, his young brother.
Young Dinny. Well, we know they've stuck together ever since, so let's meet the other little Powell lad, Brother Dinny.
You're supposed to have been working in the studio today.
A lot of things are supposed to be happening today, and I'm sure that you'll find out. Well, Dinny, you also became, of course, a well-known heavyweight boxer, stuntman, and member of the jousting team as well. Were you ever matched with NOSHER in the ring?
Well, they tried to do it. 2 or 3 promoters tried to get us together, but my mother would never have it. She just wouldn't take it.
Why was that, Mrs. Powell?
Well, I couldn't have them knocking each other about, could I? I wound up bashing them.
Well, the streets around the Elephant and Castle were an excellent training ground for a fighting career because on almost every corner there's some tough customer ready to take you on. Now, just a couple of streets away from you in those days, there's one particular bruiser who's also to make something of a name for himself.
Hello, my darlings.
Yes, another pride of the Elephant and Castle, your former neighbor, Mr. Charlie Drake.
Lucy's voice, sorry. Doesn't work.
Charlie, serious, not quite serious, but you were schoolboy boxing chap. Oh, but Charlie, you were a chap at that time. Did you and Nosher ever clash?
Pardon? No, he's always been bigger than me. And my physical complexities lay in a much smaller package. Therefore, fortunately, he never had to face his formidable fist. Did you give a kiss?
Thank you, Charlie Drake. Apart from Charlie Drake, there's another hazard to living in the heart of London around that time, the Blitz. The Powell family are bombed out and you're evacuated to Wareham and Dorset. You're billeted here over the butcher's shop, and there are 2 more evacuees already there, expecting a pretty tough guy from the Elephant and Castle. And here tonight to meet you again after 30 years, Joyce and Rita. No!
This is fantastic, honestly.
Joyce, tell me when he got there, was he all that tough?
No, he was in the church choir.
But apart from the church choir, did he did a bit of boxing?
Oh, boxing, riding. But he was always kind to us. He used to read to us when we were ill, read lovely stories.
But Rita, you said that for a time that the house that you all stayed in Wareham was haunted.
Well, he used to torment us. He used to wrap a sheet round him and pretend he was a ghost. Come up the stairs.
Thank you, Joyce and Rita, Mrs. Luker and Mrs. Phillips. Thank you. Back in London, after a year, you start your boxing career as an amateur, and though you're already tall, you're taking a lot of time to fill out. And it's a very gangling young man who's called up for the army. You're posted to the Middle East, and at first the other lads in your unit think that this tall, skinny private is a bit of a pushover.
Marshall had his own way of knocking that idea out of people's heads.
You first met sharing the same bell tent in Egypt 25 years ago, your best pal in the army, Eric Tiny Russell.
This guy was so big in the army, he used to run around a football pitch in the height of the Palestinian summer 90 times, and it was through me keeping him company that I won the championship in the army to get myself so fit.
And Tiny, you've told us that Nosher had to put up with a certain amount of mickey-taking when he first arrived out there in Egypt.
When I first got to know him, he was about 6'3", I think. He was very, very skinny, got rimless glasses on. He didn't look nothing at all like a boxer, more like a professor.
And what about the ribbings that he got? Did he put up with these from the boys?
On one occasion, we were standing waiting in the dinner queue to go into the hall, and 2 or 3 of the lads went to walk by to get to the front niches at the back of the queue. But they wouldn't have Nosher. So Nosher says, "All my tins," takes his glasses off in the tin. And as soon as I could see it, it's dead gone.
Thank you, Eric Russell. Thank you. Well, thanks to Tiny's training, you did, in fact, become the United Services heavyweight champion of the Middle East. And then back as a civilian, you turned professional boxer. And also take a job as a porter in the Covent Garden vegetable market. Now, lifting potato sacks builds your muscles, but despite your size and your fighting reputation, there are still people ready to risk a joke at your expense. And one day, for example, Nosher, you're having a quiet sunbathe on a market barrow when it starts raining overripe tomatoes.
I scored 4 direct hits and then ran for my life.
The villain of the piece in that sport of market horseplay more than 20 years ago, fellow market man Ronnie Evans. Yes, you're right, Doctor. Ronnie, tell us about that particular bombardment, will you?
Well, he always used to strip off in the summer when the weather was right.
Not totally, of course.
Well, no, strip off is like down to here, because he's a... And I climbed up on a roof with a load of tomatoes.
Where was he at this time, on the barrel?
Yeah, he tightened the barrel up and lay on the barrel like that to get the sun. Anyway, I got up on the roof, threw half a dozen tomatoes at him. Next thing I know, he's
come storming in the shop where I worked. He said, as much as I like him and he's a pal of mine, he said, if I can get hold of him, I'll break his effing neck.
Did he get hold of you?
No, not at that time, because I had it away over the back of the wall, but it wasn't until a few weeks afterwards I told him who'd done it.
Thank you, Ronnie Evans. Thank you. Well, Nosher, in 1950, you win the novice heavyweight competition run by boxing promoter Jack Solomons, and after a hard day's work in the market, you fight regularly in the evenings, and that's where you meet another young, up-and-coming young heavyweight who's to become a good friend of yours, and he's here tonight to prove it. Former British, European, and Empire champion, Henry Cooper. Henry, I bet you've never met another heavyweight quite like Nosher.
No, well, not quite, because Nosher was a true character in the boxing world, you know, and there's so many stories about Nosher, but I think the one I like the best and can remember best is, I remember Nosher was billed at Streatham Ice Ring in a 10-round fight, and the announcer and the referee after 8 rounds go up to Nosher and hold his hand up. So Nosher protests, well, he said, this is a 10-round fight. I've been signed for a 10-round fight. So I said, all right, carry on. In the 9th round, poor old Nosher went and got Steve. He'd already got the verdict.
Thank you, Henry Cooper. And Nosher, here's the man who knocked you out, former heavyweight Eddie Hearn, yes.
What she said to me, she said we should have stuck to the original verdict.
What did he say?
He said we should have stuck to the original verdict.
Thank you, Eddie Hearn. Thank you. Well, it's antics like that, of course, that earned Nosher the title the Clown Prince of Boxing. And right through the 50s, when the famous Haringey Arena in London is one of the great centres of the world, you're a star attraction.
There was only one place for Nosher. Last fight of the night. The walkout fight.
Your good friend and admirer, world-famous promoter, Jack Solomons.
That's the master. That is the master.
Jack, tell us why you always put Nosher on last, will you?
Well, Nosher was about the biggest drawing card I ever had. I could always fill Haringey Arena, but you could never get 8,000 to 10,000 people to stay behind, and he was the only one to get them to stay behind.
But you used to even get complaints, didn't you, for putting him
Oh,
on
I got
last?
ever so many complaints that people missed their trains and people had trouble getting home, and finally I did put him on early one night.
Don't tell us
I
about
won't
that.
tell you that story.
But he was a magnificent clown in the ring. How did you rate him as a boxer as well?
Well, as a boxer, in my opinion, if Nosher was really serious and he didn't want to be an actor and eat onions, in my opinion... In my opinion, I doubt whether there would have been 2 heavyweights in the whole of Great Britain that could have beaten him if he'd have been serious. I only wish to God I had a NOSHER Powell today.
Thank you, Jeff Sutherland. Well, Nosher, your fighting career ends abruptly when you're struck by a lorry in Covent Garden. Well, as a stuntman, you're soon in demand for films and television. One day, you're hired to appear in an episode of a popular television series, and it seems like a nice, simple little fight scene you have to play with a young actor.
Have no fear, dear lady. This cowardly ruffian will trouble you no longer.
Adam himself from those days, later star of Hadley, now starring in the West End play Suddenly at Home, Gerald Harper. Gerald, did Nosher tell you how to go about the fight scene?
Well, it was a disaster for me, you see, because he was miles, and he had to thrash me around the studios, and he told me how he was going to do that, and that was all right. And then at the end, being the hero, I had to hang one on him, and I said, no, I want it to look as good. Yeah, you tell it. You tell it.
I said, look, the best thing is, look at him. He doesn't look half my size. I said, you hit me on the chin. He said, you sure?
That's right.
You hit me on the chin.
I'll write it. He said, I'll write it.
He hit me on the chin and knocked me for 6. I never realised until after this guy was the light heavyweight champion of his regiment.
But he went flat down. And you didn't I shut my eyes and I went bang. Henry's hammer it was. I found it. And I felt this blinding pain. I opened it up and he was down flat on his back. And I thought, he's too big for that. And I thought, I'm not going to get a 60-day cooling off period. I thought, he's going to get up and kill me. And he got up and he walked over and he said, Jerry, you got a good pants there. And we did the fight that night and you never laid a finger on. I've never forgotten it. Thank you very much.
I know you've got to get across to the Fortune Theatre curtain up, but thanks for coming in tonight. Thank you, Gerald Harper.
Thanks.
Your fellow performers in films and television aren't all quite as handy with their fists as Gerald Harper, but someone, NOSHER, that you always seem to... You manage to be on the receiving end, no matter what happens in these features. Have a look. NOSHER Powell versus Mrs. Peel in The Avengers. Now, you must have patched up that little argument, NOSHER, because she's here tonight. Mrs. Peel herself, Diana Rigg. You seem to be doing pretty well there against NOSHER.
Well, I wasn't really, because the actual truth of the matter was that every time I hit NOSHER, I had to stop myself from going,
So, you've told us, though, that working with NOSHER is anything but a painful experience. Times apart.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Do you remember we used to sit and you used to tell me all these tales about you and the lads, and my mouth used to drop open. Apart from anything else, he's very cool about anything, you know. I used to knock him out in the scene, and we'd carry on with the scene, and then the director would call cut, and then we'd hear this noise of snoring in the background, and NOSHER would be fast asleep on the floor.
Nothing like relaxation.
No.
Thank you, Diana Rigg.
That's okay.
As well as all the fun that Diana mentions, there are risks and broken bones in the life of a stuntman, but there's still, despite that, yet another Powell on the stunt scene now. Your 17-year-old son, Gregory. Gregory. You're the youngest stuntman in the business. What persuaded you to follow in your father's footsteps?
It's a lazy life, of course. I enjoy it.
It's a lazy life. Come on, be serious. How did it come about?
Well, when I was a kid, go to studios, you know, locations, and I enjoyed it, so I thought that's my game.
And that is your game. Sounds like another NOSHER well and truly launched. And there's one more limbering up for the future, if you watch over there. Your 8-year-old son, Gary, right?
Hello, Daddy. I hope you're having a nice time. Guess I've got to say hello, Goldie. Did you guess it? It's Goldie, of course. Hello, we've got to go and have our tea now. See you later on.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Gregory. Well, NOSHER, above all else, you've been a fighting man. And although you won, as I said, almost all of your 60 professional fights inside the ring, I know your sense of humor won't mind me if I finish with the story of another fight that you ended up flat on your back.
People like you that give English tourists such a bad name. Will you butt out?
Well, here's the guy who floored the mighty NOSHER, international film actor, Tony Curtin.
Nice to see you, NOSHER.
Tony. That line he spoke there in The Persuaders didn't sound like the NOSHER we heard tonight.
I think they dubbed him.
Is that what happened to him? Yeah?
I think they dubbed him. I don't know who they put. They put another kind of voice. Why did they do that?
Who's that fighter?
Oh, yeah, Tiger Schwartz.
Anyway, he's recovered from dubbing. Tony, you worked with him several other times. You've become friends. How would you sum this character up, Tony?
He's really a professional. He does his work as good as any man can do. And, you know, in the acting business, in filmmaking, that's really important, you know, to be able to count on another human being in things that are kind of physically difficult. And NOSHER is a gentleman, And a professional. Thank you.
Well said, Tony. I can say no more, but to my gentleman and professional NOSHER Powell, this is your life.